Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaign. In collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue to today's session. Today, we are commemorating few national events, though we do not have any international event today, commemoration. But we'll look at some Western events, national commemorations, as we have come to the end of English or calendar New Year, that is 2022, and we are stepping into new English year, that is 2023. Now, it has been a common practice in the West and even in other parts to take a resolution. Of course, there is a lot of humor and fun associated with resolutions, that they are very much, restricted to the papers only. Generally, most of the resolutions are, are very much limited to papers, but often they are being kept unresolved. So today is National Resolution Planning Day in US. And we are getting a head start on setting goals for the next year. So did you know that 1 in 3 people fail their New Year's resolution in the very first month? And only 10% of the people are successful at keeping their resolutions throughout the year. Why? There are many reasons for this. It is necessary that you set and commit to your resolutions before the new year actually begins for a better chance at success. So how did you start of a new year became the de facto fresh start? So this is all about National Resolution Planning Day, and it is better to start thinking of your resolutions ahead of time rather than wait for January 1st to come around, as by then it is probably already too late to decide on them. So if you plan your resolutions on December 30, at least you will be good to go when your new year arrives. So the ancient tradition of making resolutions for New Year started at Babylonian festival of Akitu over 4,000 years ago. Spanning 12 days, the rebirth of the natural world would be celebrated by the Babylonians A new king would be crowned, crops would be planted, and promises would be made to the gods. And they believed that if these promises or resolutions were kept and fulfilled, the gods would be happy instead of vengeful. So in 153 BC, to the honor of god Janus, January 1st was declared as the start of New Year by the Roman Senate. Janus was the entity with two faces who had ability to look backward and forward in time. This symbolized the end of one year and the beginning of another. But it wasn't until 100 years later, in 46 BC, that the concept of New Year being on January 1st was made official and effective by Julius Caesar. Just like the Babylonians, the Romans would pledge promises to their god Janus about their behavior for the coming year. During the Middle Ages, the peacock vow would be renewed at the end of each year. Essentially, these were resolutions that knights committed in order to uphold the code of knighthood, and knights would place their hands on a cooked peacock and renew their oaths to protecting honor and chivalry. The phrase New Year resolution appeared for the first time in Boston newspaper in 1813, and there onwards, modern resolutions became a thing. There is a lot of controversy and and a lot of ambiguity in these stories. This many believe that this is a story, cooked up story, and this doesn't have any historical relevance or any such sort because of various other contradicting, historical evidences that we have seen. And and certain civilizations are not that old, so they most or some of them still believe that there are a lot of cooked stories, in various cultures, various religions, to promote themselves as the oldest and ancient faith systems or religions, or a kind of communities or civilizations. Lot of misrepresented and lot of false stories or cooked up stories were made part of these lot of such things, and history is completely distorted with false facts, and you know uh, we cannot say them as facts. We can say that all falsified, history. Entire history was uh, rewritten in such a way that even we have to find history in the history. So anyway, that's a different topic, but altogether I have to caution you that this is one of the story that has been shared, uh, with this New Year resolution. But in fact, we have seen earlier also how this New Year came, and how this new calendar was introduced. Again, that is a different story, and again, this is a contradictory story. So we have a lot of questionable stories about these things, which doesn't have any relevant significance. At least we do not have any research. Maybe there are a lot of cooked up stories and all those things. So it's up to an individual how far they are believing or not. But we are just commemorating, and there is some information regarding the event, so I'm just sharing. So I'm not testifying anything as of now because of this lot of controversies and ambiguity and lack of proper evidence. So anyway, but nowadays it has become a trending topic. So leaving the history apart, we see everyone starts, making resolutions and often end up failing in that. So that is the most humorous part of it. But it's okay, quite common, we all set goals, and we always, most of the time fail to do so because of various reasons. So the top 5 resolutions among a survey of 2000 people conducted each new year are save money or spend less is the first resolution, the top 5 resolutions. And second resolution is learn something new. Third resolution is quit smoking or quit drinking. And fourth resolution, reading more. And fifth resolution is change jobs. These are the resolutions generally taken up by most of the people. Hope you might be having similar resolutions or a different one. So you can share if you feel so. Otherwise, fine. And resolutions are the best way to start a new year positively. But you can even start small, just using a new planner or a journal, decluttering your closet. Now, as already said, where this new year has come, because at those days, as per this story, even many civilizations does not exist. Even at that time, this new year calendar was also not existing. So that itself says this is a cooked up story, or a story that doesn't have any evidence. But anyway, that's a debatable thing. But following the vernal equinox, the first sighting of the new moon would mark the beginning of a new year. So again, so is January 1st every time a new moon day? Again, that is also questionable. So a lot of controversies are there, questionable things are there. So we cannot say anything about it as such. So we are taking as it is. And okay, forget about all those things. Just let's concentrate on resolution planning day. So because history has been distorted, that we all know what we are reading today is a lot of distorted history, even in our textbooks, everywhere you see, nowhere the history is truly represented. We have all cooked up history or distorted history that we are learning. So it is very difficult to find history unless and until you are really interested and you do well into it and do research. But as we have a common this thing, at least many people are maniac to this new year, English New Year, and are going crazy. And nowadays we see a lot of it has become a synonym for drunkers day, druggers day. See a lot of people get drugged by smoking, by alcohol, and by consuming various drugs to keep themselves high, and also by engaging in various activities. They are killing lots of people and families through accidents, or the influence of these drugs. So it has become, in New Year has become a synonym for druggers day, drinkers day, smokers day, whatnot. And this 31st and 1st. And moreover, it has also becoming a great day for pollution. A lot of energy in the form of lightings, lot of energy is consumed, which otherwise could be saved. Unnecessary lighting everywhere and unnecessary fireworks, which are used and bursted across the world. This is creating a huge pollution and huge wastage across the world that is contributing to greenhouse emissions and, great pollution. And moreover, a lot of decoration that happens creates a lot of waste, including plastic and other things. And we are still grandly celebrating. For what? For the known and unknown reasons of polluting the planet. No other single positive benefit from it. Anyway, it's up to the individual. We can only pledge that, we can only request everyone to be conscious of all these things. And, at an individual level, we are very conscious human beings. We personally, we all are good by ourselves, by nature, but, maybe we are influenced by the society, or maybe we are influenced by the cultures and traditions of the West, and we are simply following like a, in the sheep herd, sheep is following. But question always, when you are questioning, we always need to question why, you know, we need to follow. Is there any benefit? Is there still a relevant context? And how it is going to contribute to the environment or the climate change? If it is really benefiting, then definitely we can go ahead. If it is not benefit, then it is high time that we restrict and we move away from doing such acts which would cause harm to human beings and fellow species and also to the planet. So this can also be part of your resolutions. Why we are discussing is, take a resolution that we are not going to do anything that can harm to the planet on 31st day, and also in the coming new year on first day, and so on. This can be one of the best resolution that you can do for yourself and for your planet and for our planet. So before you start making your resolutions for the new year, it is essential that you reflect on the past year and take inventory of what you need to do more to accomplish your goals in the next year, and what you need to leave behind that won't support us. So at least this is an excuse for all of us, as we have a trend of taking resolutions. So just sit back and just go through what all you have done, how far it has helped you, or it has helped the society, and how far it is beneficial for you and to the community at large. And if you have set any personal goals, also review them and see what more to be done and what has to be achieved and what needs to be done to achieve those. And any new goals, if you have already achieved some, and if you are aiming or aspiring for higher level or a different level, you can always plan and set new goals. And tomorrow we will see about goal setting, how to set a goal and how to see that we accomplish that goals. But as of now, we'll restrict it here due to time constraints. And based on that, you also need to leave certain things back behind. There might be some certain things which may be prohibiting us from moving forward. That can be our mindset, that can be our thought process, or that may be our habits also for that matter, or our lifestyle, or certain changes may be required that will help us to move forward. And decide on your new year resolutions. Once you retrospect or introspect, look back and make a note and come to a conclusion, then you decide on what is that you need to do now. Save money or eat healthier, live healthier life, enjoy life to the fullest, whatever it may be. Set whatever resolutions you like. This can be anything you want because it depends on your personal choice, preference, and your goals, your interests, your hobbies, your likings or dislikes. So ask yourself what change you want to make in your life next year that will bring you significant happiness or satisfaction. And you can note down and pick your resolution team. Some resolutions require you to support by others, or you may need some external support. So, and it may require you to have a support team that will have you back. So, an inspiration buddy, an accountable buddy, and a celebration buddy. Like that, you can have a team where you can, keep motivating yourself, and the team can support you whenever there is a need. So, why people fail? Almost two in one, or almost one in two, or two in three fail in their resolutions. People fail at keeping a resolution that is not really a commitment, but more of a contemplation. Because, it's like watching a 3 hour movie, or a 2 hour or 2.5 hour movie in the theater. A very nice, pleasant movie, very motivating movie. And you see that in that movie, the hero or heroine, or both of them, wants to create a new world altogether, all that rosy and all those, good things. And you also get inspired and come outside, and you find your vehicle is somewhere parked in the parking jungle, and you get so much frustrated, or you see the traffic and you shout, yell, whatnot you do. And see, this is what reality is. No, this it's not like a movie that happens everything scripted and everything as planned. This is life. We have to accept, we have to take it, and we have to go further as it is, as it comes. It is not as in the movie that everything is scripted, everything is planned, and everything is set, and you just go by the script. But life is not like that. Anything can happen, lot of twists and turns. Yeah. So there are many uncertain things that keep happening, unwanted things that keep happening. So we have to stay committed and be adaptable, adjustable to the changes. If required, we also need to change the goals or priorities. So and lack of enough time, because priorities, we all have the same time. For me also it's 24 hours, for you also 24 hours, and for everyone on the planet we have just 24 hours. But what is our priority? Maybe for some, as of now, my priority is to prepare for the daily webinar, and or make all the preparation and join, so that I will accomplish today's webinar in a successful manner to the maximum capacity and potential. And maybe all those who are attending, your priority is to attend this and share your insights or gain some insights. So similar way, we all have certain priorities. And as many times I do say, and many do say, it's all about priorities. We are not busy, we are not free. It's all about priorities. Maybe if something else is our priority, then we will take it up something else. If this is a priority, then we will definitely take this. So it's all about priorities. It's nothing to do with being free or busy. So if we make this as a priority, or any particular task or a goal a priority, definitely we'll put our entire efforts on it. So it is only because of lack of commitment and lack of priority that is set to a particular goal or is resolution that makes us or that makes resolutions fail. So the best thing we can do is to make resolutions which are realistic, like goals. We need to follow the SMART or smarter method, which needs to be realistic. And often, being unable to prioritize a resolution enough to make time for it is another prime reason for failing and experiencing a setback. As I have mentioned already, this is not a movie where everything is scripted, and that kind of motivation where it's not a controlled environment, and we have a lot of dependent variables, independent variables. Often we ourselves, or we change extraneous variables. A lot of variables we have, in a research. So similarly, certain times our uh, role also changes. Sometimes we become dependent variable and we become independent variable. We sometimes we ourselves become an extraneous variable. And a lot of things keep happening. So a minor setback often completely derails a person from keeping their resolution. Take it for me personally. I would like to share a personal experience. I have also seen a lot of setbacks, minor setbacks, as a team member in organizing these series. Especially other things are went very smoothly, but I have seen a lot of things, especially in this, because other things are just one day affair. So we organize and close it, and we are happy till at least for another month or another quarter or another half yearly or another year. But this has been a routine task. It always taxing on our resources and time. It's not easy to come and talk for hour, 2 hours. A lot of preparation needs to be done, and to keep engaging, and that too in a very productive, constructive way. It's not so easy. Before we need to come, even if you want to speak for some time, we need to prepare what to talk and how to talk, and how it has to be substantiated with certain research or evidence. And especially we need to cross verify whether how far is it true, and what are the various sources. We need to check for alternative sources. We cannot trust on any single source. So we need to check whether it is right or not. And even after, at times like today I have mentioned, if there is still ambiguity and I am not so confident about the facts, I should also convey that message that this can be a controversial, or this can be, a cooked up story or something like that, so that I'm also sure that when I'm disseminating information or when I'm sharing some information, I also make you cautious or caution you that there is a benefit of doubt with a certain topic or certain uh, information. So you will also be aware, and whenever we are trying to use any information, we will be cautious, and we will also put some efforts to again cross check and verify. So it is our duty, responsibility as a researcher, as a presenter, uh, to or as a speaker, to caution, because you know when the listeners are giving us some kind of respect or some kind of uh, value to us, then we should do our justice. No matter if we don't have anything to speak, also fine. But whatever we are speaking, we should be faithful to us. That is, so that's where these minor setbacks are there. It can be from within ourselves, maybe lack of proper resources, lack of proper references, lack of or sometimes altogether we might receive different kind of experiences in dealing with different kinds of people or different kinds of circumstances or context, where we might get demotivated, we might get disappointed, sometimes we may get annoyed, we may get insulted, or we may get you know a lot of varied experiences, but that shouldn't stop us from going ahead. We should take all these are learnings, part of learning, and in the process we keep learning about different organizations, different communities, and especially different people. I have learned in this process, in this past, if I take 2002, I have learned so many things about different people. Almost as part of this series, I have met thousands and thousands of people who came as participants, who came as presenters, who came as panelists, and I could see their behavior. I could see their attitude. I could see their commitment or interest, likes and dislikes, with relevant to this series. So I could learn something. So this has provided me a great opportunity, and how they are able to understand, how they are able to take it, and how far they were close to the reality in understanding. So all these, in the same way, they also might have got certain insights into similar things. So we call it as an individual experience and a collective experiences when we take it as a whole, or when we take it as individual. So these kind of experiences or look back or a throwback that will help us to make new resolutions, or change resolutions, or make up new resolutions that will help us to move forward in the process. We also keep changing. We also try to because we have a policy like customer centric, or client centric, or participant centric. We have been most participant centric. So, but what happens with customer centric or client centric, participant centric? Oh, we cannot satisfy everyone in this world, and that is the very first fact we have to understand. And when we are going, every customer has a unique preference, unique taste, unique likes and dislikes, and bringing commonality is a very difficult task again. So everyone has lot of expectations, lot of suggestions, lot of they like this way, they like that way. But we have to understand, when we are working with NGOs or a social cause, or for that matter, anything which is not commercial, or anything, because we might have certain resolutions where we want to volunteer, or where we might want to do some charity, or where we want to do some philanthropic activity. So we have to be very cautious about choosing activity which is of our interest. If we do not have interest in it, or if you have some great expectations about it, then there is nothing wrong about having an expectation from anything, especially in terms of volunteering, or in terms of charity or philanthropic activity. But you sit with them, or you just go through it, look back, look front, sideways, and see what is that it can offer to you. Forget about what you can offer to others. First, why you want to engage in that? What is your motive? What is your intent? And what is that you are going to get out of it? And many times, especially when we go for charity or philanthropy or volunteering, it is the sense of satisfaction. Other things you may get, you may not get, but We purely go for to gain a sense of satisfaction, contentment, or a purpose of a life that has been met. So if you are moving with that goal, then you will have immediate gratification of serving the purpose, and you will be happy. That everyone gets, almost everyone gets. In very exceptional cases where something has gone wrong, by knowingly or unknowingly or beyond our control, maybe such rare occasions, we might not get at least that kind of, but where we were not able to put our complete efforts. But in spite of failure also, if we were able to put our efforts, at least we have that sense of satisfaction that, yes, I have done my best, though certain things are beyond my control. But whatever I have done, I did my best. So that kind of satisfaction we all get. So it's a great opportunity for all of us. So to work on resolutions, look back and go ahead with, and certain things, our mindset, our attitude, or our perspectives prevent us to go forward or take opportunities. So we have to understand everyone has certain limitations and everyone has the same time and everyone has a priority. And based on whether it's a commercial or non-commercial, and everyone might have different priorities as such. So we have to keep everything in mind and we have to plan. And especially is very important in planning. Why we are talking about planning today is planning for resolution. Say suppose we'll take very relevant example. Maybe today just we take example of webinar because we are very much related to this and we'll try to understand how the entire process goes on. See, planning, how we'll plan first. If we are planning to attend, then we will find the registration form, then we'll register and they will note the timings and the registration link, joining link, and we will go through the instructions and then we'll attend and we'll follow the instructions. Then if we'll complete the formalities like providing the feedback, and we will wait for a certain time so that certificates get generated and we will be downloading from the website. This is simple formalities. There are set of formalities or set of instructions that needs to be followed. So we'll plan accordingly. So when to do, what to do, how to do, which one to do first, which is next, and whether, and finally the checklist, whether I have completed all the formalities or not. If there is anything that has to be completed from my side. This is what happens with the participant. And when it comes to the speaker, say these are different perspectives and everyone like has their own, like it similarly, this is just an example we have taken to within this context of webinar. We'll take one more perspective as a speaker or as a panelist or a resource person. So where we have to, when we come across such a event, then we have to plan what topic might be most appropriate for that day or for that week or for that month or for that occasion. And we have to prepare, do our research, and we have to be prepared, then put a proposal, register, and select a tentative date and time, and share all our details so that we identify ourselves, we introduce ourselves, and add some credibility to our introduction by sharing our CV or resume or biodata or any letter of recommendation or appreciation or our occupation details or professional details, so that we establish our credibility and our recognition, our value additions any associated with us. And then we'll share all the required details and files as required. Maybe if I want to be a collaborator or a co-signatory, then I would be sharing my logo also. If I would make my organization also part of it, then I would be sharing logo and brief introduction of organization, what it does, and if required, the credentials of the organizations along with that, and my signature, where if I want to be a co-signatory. So then I will try to get an approval by putting my proposal through registration form and sharing the details to them so that they can also verify, the team can verify and confirm me. And then once I will follow it with them. So if there is anything left and any changes are required, any modifications are required, whether particular slot timing is available or not. So can I go ahead with the presentation? Or if I have a presentation, then I would be happy to share with them so that they can review the content also and let me know if anything else to be added or modified. And finally, if after completing all the formalities, then I would get a confirmation orally or written or however it is. If there is any, requirements, I would let them know that as part of the presentation or panel discussion, or I have a certain expectations, like maybe I would require a certificate of presentation or a participation. I would convey the same. If there is any time constraints, I would let them know that this is my expectation. This is my time frame with which I'm having an expectation. So whether this could be possible. If not, what would be the maximum time? And is there any? So I would discuss with all these things and go ahead and join in time. And if I want to check myself, I would join early based on their feasibility or technicality. I would check my PPT or all my system, because system settings can change at any time, can go wrong. So if I am not sure, then I would not disturb by joining into the entire audience. And rather than that, I would like to join early and get my ensure that all my things are working fine, system and all other things. Then I would be ready for the presentation and wait for my turn. And then I would, when invited, I would share my presentation, then complete it and take up any Q&A, and then ask for any suggestions, feedback, express my gratitude, and take it. And I will follow with if there are any requirements like certificate. So this needs a lot of planning. So the presentation here for participation, the first step is just to decide whether to attend or what to attend, which event to attend. Or if we decide to attend daily, then we have to plan, keep time aside. And we need to have appropriate gadget and appropriate infrastructure, that is connectivity. And we will also bookmark or we will subscribe to Google Calendar so that it can remind us before time, so that we can have that link handy. With the click of that link, we can join the meeting and enjoy the session. So the entire process starts with deciding and then registering. So the process of presentation starts with registration. So we should not think the entire process, the process just starts at coming, presenting and going. No, that is not the process. The initial step of process is just getting things know, and if there are any further queries, getting it clarified, and then getting registered and ensuring that all the formalities are met, all the documents are provided if any, then going for the presentation and post feedback or post presentation, any formalities are there, we need to complete. And finally, we will be receiving the certificate. And after certificate also, if you want to express, again, expression of our gratitude for the opportunity. So this is the entire process that goes on. So if anything else is missing, then there might bring some gap or some lacunae in the entire process where I may not uh, complete it properly or efficiently. So what I would do, if I am doing, say, if I am a presenter, or even as a coordinator also, I also register for each event. I am also presenting. So I also follow all these procedures because I am not an exemption. Even I have to follow all this, and I do follow also. So we need to ensure that all these are completed so that we get things easier. Otherwise, things will get a little bit complicated or it will get delayed. That is what happens. So in a similar way, it needs a lot of planning for any activity. So as they hear, the process starts from planning how to go about registration and the entire process and then completing the formalities. In a similar way, if you want to do something, maybe if we want to join some course, or we want to take up a new job, or if we want to take up a new career, or if you want to build a new house, or if you are planning to acquire a new system or a new mobile, or it can be anything. Plan it properly. And before that, you assess whether it is really required or not, whether you have adequate resources for that or not, whether you are prepared, whether you are trained, whether you are comfortable in using it, whether you have sufficient space to keep it running smoothly. And all these things, you have to plan it and then think how to go about. Often, certain luxurious or premier wishes, wants, needs, or whatever we call, because for certain people it may be need, certain people it may be want, or certain people it may be luxury. So depending on one's kind of work or the status or situation, occupation. So all these things may vary from person to person, individual to individual. So it is very much essential because things vary. For certain people, car may be mandatory. For certain people, they can go with bike or public transport. So it all depends on the individual. Accordingly, plan. Say, suppose, take an example. If we are planning to buy a car, then the major problem most of us we face is parking problem. The very first problem. Okay, getting a car is not a big deal. We can somehow get a by through EMI. Now that we have a lot of EMI options, so getting a car is a very easy thing. But parking is a very big problem. Where do we park it? So whether we have adequate parking space in our apartment or our home, or most of the time we see, nighttime streets and even daytime also. All streets are filled with these parked cars on either sides. So that keeps blocking the, pedestrian walk or even a portion of road. And nighttime you see almost all cars are, unless and until you have a parking space, reserved parking space. Otherwise, you see all the streets are filled with these vehicles. So, and there are various other problems associated with it. And even if you go outside, again, this parking problem is there, where you will park in a very crowded marketplaces if you are frequent visitor. So that's why this cab culture has become very popular. No, all these tensions, no, just pay and you use a cab and leave it, and that is out of our headaches. So just pay, use a cab, and you reach your destination and again forget about that. You complete all your work and again book it gone. So while driving, if something happens, while if the vehicle broke down, so all these need to be kept in mind while selecting a model, selecting a brand, and choosing a mileage and choosing the kind of vehicle, and whether you are going alone or whether you are carrying your family or friends, you are planning to have a carpooling. So all these things has to be planned. So similarly, even when you are taking a resolution, depending on the type or kind of resolution that is taking, you need to think about entire plans. And as we have seen, various reasons like not enough commitment, not enough time, not enough priority, and experiencing a setbacks or drawbacks. And also one more thing is, okay, you have overcome all these, and anyway you keep going, okay, then you might not express or the movement, the forward, you may not experience the same rate at which you have expected. The growth or the progression may be not as expected. It might be slower. Sometimes it might be faster also. So in any case, you should not get discouraged. People get discouraged from pursuing or staying consistent with their resolutions when they don't see the instant results. So this is not an instant coffee where you just brew it and sip it, right? It takes time, things, and a lot of uncertainties and unexpected things that keep happening. So sometimes it may be slower process. So don't get discouraged. Keep on pursuing it, staying consistent, and keep going. So don't expect anything to happen overnight. So be prepared for the slower progress. And finally, and there may not be enough support. So we cannot do everything single-handed unless and until you are a one-man army, where even a one-man army also needs certain support. So unless and until you are, very much trained or have been working as a one-man army or a one-woman army, we all need support, right? And these resolutions are so personal, and people often fail because of lack of support system or motivation to keep them moving ahead or stay committed or keep motivated. And most of us are extrinsic motivation. So where we are always looking for the motivation from others, from external environment. So we should have intrinsic motivation where we need to keep ourselves motivated. So lack of support, lack of motivation, we often do not stay committed. So this is also happens. This can be also one of the reasons for failure of resolution. So all these things are very much necessary. No matter what we are doing, let's do it in a proper way, completing all the formalities and always thinking all this, not just being very critic, but seeing everything, considering everything, checking all the possibilities and probabilities of, having done or not having done. And based on that, finally take a decision. And maybe certain times, we need not change a goal, but we need to change the plan. So certain times we are struck to same plan and we don't have alternative plan or an alternative strategy. So altogether we have to forego that goal or object. Instead, be flexible, be adaptive, be adjusted, flex, being to the context, to the conditions, to the circumstances, and you can go ahead. Don't get demotivated, disappointed. Take life as it is, as it comes. So all we have is now. Past is anyway gone. Future is anyway uncertain. So what we all have is now. There's no better time than now to make all those lifestyle changes that have been pending or what we have kept delaying. So let's get to it. So live in the present. You can plan for the future, but don't live in the future, neither live in the past. Live in the present and stay in the present at the moment so that you will enjoy best of it. You will get most of it. And there's nothing wrong to, plan or keep looking aspiring, but live at the moment so that you do not forget to enjoy, embrace, appreciate, and get most of a present now. So that is very important. Otherwise, this will again become past, and again, you should not regret that in the past I could have done this, I couldn't have enjoyed this. So to avoid regrets, because the present will become past in the next second. It's all matter of seconds. This second again is replaced by the next second. That keeps goes on, whether we do something or not. So this second will become the past second, the very next second. So if we are not at the present, if we are not living in the present, if we are not focusing on the present, what will happen? Again, we have to regret the past in the present, in the next second. And what will happen? That will affect the future second, the coming second. So finally, we have, by living in the past and by living in the future, we are not able to appreciate, embrace, or give our fullest and take our to the fullest the present second. So concentrate on present, forget about other things, plan what all you can do at the moment, in the present, focus on it, and gain that instant gratification, gain that instant sense of self-fulfillment or self-contentment. And that will help you, to get that satisfaction or being happy that you have achieved something. Otherwise, what will happen? You will have a lot of regrets and nothing to cherish or nothing to embrace. So, suppose taking again same this event. Now that you have attended this event, embrace this moment. Don't think of other things like from there or here or other or this that. You have taken a decision. Go with the decision. Be happy with the decision. Whatever you get, whether it may be the worst or it may be the best, be happy that you have done something productive, constructive, and take that moment, enjoy that moment, and leave that moment after its completion. So that at that moment you are fine, enjoying, happy, content, joyful, have immense pleasure, satisfaction of doing that. So that moment you have achieved, you have done your best. So collect more such moments that will fill your life with so many such moments, happy moments, joyful moments. Don't think about past, don't think about future too much. Try to enjoy every moment that will help you to have a good past, a happy past. That will also encourage you in future. So don't expect too much, don't think too much. That is root cause of all problems. Too much expectations again. See certain movies, even before we release, we have too much expectation and go and suddenly we, we are greatly disappointed. And we have seen certain movies, where the hardcore fans also got, criticized the movie or their own favorite hero or heroine, because we had huge expectations and they could not meet that expectation. So often, people are very much conscious in building up expectation. Too much boosting, too much grandiosity, or too much, um, this will have an adverse effect, impact, where, you know, it might be difficult to meet such expectations. So always try to be realistic. Don't boost too much, so that tomorrow you have to perform so hard, so high, that you will strain yourself, you will stress yourself, and at times you can even break down, and you can feel sad or depressed by not meeting your own set expectations. So be flexible. So accept whatever it is, however it is, and try to gain insights. And all we have is now. As said, there's no better time than now to make all these changes that have been pending out, or we kept delaying. Let's get it out to it. And it feels exhilarating. The end of the year brings with its anticipation and excitement for the year ahead. And we feel all pumped up by this pre-New Year motivational wave. As I have said, you know, when you are in a movie theater, you get inspired and you think that I am the one who is going to change the world, bring change. And after that, you come out of, you wake up from your seat and you find trouble in getting out of theater or getting out of, hall, or getting out of the campus. So it should not be like that. We, right? So this pre-New Year motivational wave, take it consciously, be realistic. Okay, there's nothing wrong to get motivated, keeping in that motivation, but be realistic and ready to tackle some goals. And you are already in the reflection mode and can pick the right resolutions, because you are also, we all are coming to the new year end. So we are already set resolutions, or maybe we have all the information available, and we are already reflecting upon this new year, how we spent, or this year at least, how we have spent, what we thought, and what we have achieved, and where are the gaps and where we failed. So we are already in reflection mode about the past year. So it's easier now to filter and decide what we want, what we don't want, and can set better resolutions that are attainable. So now that we have all the information with us, and we are on reflecting mode, and we are analyzing each and everything, and now we have seen what are our strengths and weakness, our threats and opportunities. We did our SWOT analysis, and we also analyzed our support systems, our motivation levels, and our skill sets, and everything. We know now what is better, and what can be achieved and what cannot be achieved. So accordingly, be realistic and set the resolution so that they can be attainable, so that we do not fail again. So with this, we shall conclude this topic. So make resolutions, but make that a reality as well on this National Resolution Planning Day. And there is another event, that is Falling Needles Family Fest Day. Now, this is a cleanup of mess, as we have already discussed. A lot of Christmas, how it has contributed to huge pollution, deforestation, and Falling Needles Family Fest is a special day that is celebrated uh, and reminds us to clean up Christmas trees and recycling them instead of letting them rot away. And as we have seen that across the world, this is a very huge festival having large population. So naturally, everyone pulls out all the stops and live Christmas trees or plastic Christmas trees are usually the centerpiece of the decorations in a lot of people's houses and shopping malls. So what happens after this celebration? What happens to the tree? Whether it may be live, that is, natural or artificial. Lights and tinsel can go into the storage until next year, but trees needs to be disposed safely, whether it may be live or plastic. Even plastic trees, okay, that can be also stored for the next year, safely dismantled, or if you have a closet which can accommodate as it is, you can, or a storeroom, you can store there. Otherwise, it has to be disposed safely. So the best way to clean up uh, your live Christmas trees to make sure it gets recycled. So this day is a special day and also reminds us people to take down Christmas trees and recycle. It is an awareness celebration, not a holiday. It's an awareness creation day. And Christmas trees became popular in America around 1700s. Earlier, it was not that concept. But from 1700s, it has become a very popular and has become a symbol of Christmas around the country and across the world where these are celebrating. And private homes and public spaces are alike are decorated with Christmas trees as the seasons rolls around. And live Christmas trees are more environment friendly than fake trees because a lot of plastic pollution. Anyway, both create a lot of pollution. That is a different, but comparatively, these natural trees are quite better than plastic, than fake trees, and because they are biodegradable, at least, you know. And there's nothing like the smell of a pine to remind you that the season of cheer is over, and you can't sip on cocoa in front of plastic and feel like it's a season to be jolly. So you know, this helps us to keep us moving and cleaning up the live Christmas tree. So, but it is most important thing to ensure that your live tree returns to the environment, to make sure that it gets recycled and doesn't end up in the landfill and becomes part of enormous waste that is generated during the uh, holiday season. So if you happen to have a tree with roots still attached, you could just plant it in a backyard. And this is even better than a plastic or live tree thrown as a waste because you will be able to bring it in inside garden at least for the next Christmas. So that is one use where you can recycle and use the same tree for the next time. It all started with in 1781 that Christmas tree came to America, and General Frederick Adolph Riedisel hosts a Christmas party in Quebec that has a tree as part of celebration. This is how this Christmas tree concept or idea came into the Christmas celebrations. And the tree becomes popular in the country, and the Christmas tree begins to be named in the books, depicted in pictures. And that is where the root cause of pollution and a lot of things started. In 1800s, it became very popular, and everyone started either using this plastic Christmas tree or this natural tree. Of course, if you recycle it, it is the best way. Otherwise, it can create a lot of pollution and other environmental hazards. And apart from that, we have this first national Christmas tree, which is lit in 1923. At that time, there was no lighting that is done for Christmas tree earlier, but in the south lawn of White House, the first Christmas tree was lit. So since then, in 1923, people started lightning, fixing the lights for the tree. And the Charlie Brown Christmas creeps back into people's minds as a symbol of Christmas in 1965, again as a comeback. And at least when comparatively, live trees are recycled, but artificial trees are not. They also have a long lifespan. So again, as I already mentioned, it takes a lot of years and a lot of land for cultivation, and it is highly prone to pests. A lot of herbicides, pesticides, and fertilizers need to be used in growing this. And do not use Christmas tree as firewood because of the oils, but use it in fire pits outdoors. It is not safe. It is not good also to use Christmas trees. It can be toxic to you. It may not be good for your health also. And many communities and organizations offer door-to-door pickups of live Christmas trees for recycling so that you don't have to drive. So that is there in certain countries or certain communities, not everywhere. So make sure you avoid, if you are also trying to have a proper recycling. If you do not have, then better way is to avoid. Or if you can't avoid, then plan for certain recycling. So take all decorations off and make it sure it's in more or less same condition you bought it in, and you can keep it for the next year. Otherwise, work with your community to make sure everyone commits to recycling their trees, whether it may be plastic or live, and call for pickup. Most communities offer a pickup used Christmas trees for recycling. If there is not, organize a pickup, and there are a lot of recycling plants for various things. You can talk to them and get your Christmas tree recycled right away. So some interesting facts: around 350 million tree farms are there in America itself alone. And there's a Christmas tree industry, and approximately 1 lakh people work in it in US. And there are tree farms in all the states of US, and Oregon, Washington, New York, and Virginia are the top producers of Christmas trees. And they are just easier to transport by helicopter sometimes, so they are airlifted also. And 93% of the people recycle their trees, especially live, so that they do not end up in landfills. So that is the best part, because they keep in their backyard or front yard or side yard, and they use the same. In fact, they do not remove that also. It is there as part of their garden, and they keep decorating every year whenever you know cycle them. That means use the same tree every year again and again until till it is there. So we like to be environmental friendly. So recycling trees is easy. So no one wants to be the person with a dying Christmas tree in their houses after January, right? So no one wants their Christmas tree to die in front of them or in their house. So definitely we want to clean up our homes. And Christmas trees can be recycled, so they can be converted into wood chips, mulch, and feed for animals if they are uh, no fit to do so. So let's be more environment friendly and do recycling on this falling needles day. And today is also festival of enormous changes at the last minute, which is again in US. There are only 2 days left for the year until next year rolls out. So you may think you are out of time, but you still have 2 days to complete and fulfill your goals for the year. If there are any pending works, start working on them and make changes which can be still made, and new year resolutions can be still resolved in the next 2 days. So today and tomorrow, 2 days may not be so lengthy as 1 year, but it is enough to time to finish whatever you started with. You can always start with diet or workout routine. Take the time to plan for the next year and undertake and commit to those plans this era. So whether you are an optimistic or pessimist, one thing stays the same. There is always time for change. As long as life continues to go on, this day looks forward to what is in the store for future instead of looking at what could have been done differently in the past. So it is a day to reflect on the past without regret and instead look at the old actions and experiences as lessons. So this day is known as a festival because like-minded people join together to celebrate both a year that is about to end and a year that is about to begin. So goals can be only achieved through a plan, and this is a perfect day to do it. And today is also bicarbonate of soda day in US. As we all know, uh, this day, or especially bicarbonate of soda and its uses, no? This day acknowledges a fundamental commodity of every household and especially of every kitchen. Bicarbonate of soda is commonly known as bread soda or cooking soda and baking soda. So these names correspond to its chemical compound name, which is also known as NaHCO3, also known as sodium bicarbonate. And bicarbonate of soda is the most used chemical compound because of its many practical and effective uses. It is a white powder like crystalline that usually appears as a fine powder. When consumed, it tastes salty, one that is likened to alkaline water. The earliest uses uh, of this can be used like a product called natron, which mainly consists of sodium bicarbonate. And as of 21st century, this chemical composition was produced in bulk. Around 2 million tons of volume per year is produced, and it is shipped worldwide and is sold to business and consumers for utility and productivity, especially those bakers and confectionaries. So bicarbonate of soda has been deemed a miracle ingredient for many purposes, such as removing foul odors, eliminating pesticides, neutralizing fires, brushing teeth, cleaning, and many more. So drinking small amounts of baking soda is not usually dangerous, but it is not recommended. In adults, this can provide a short-term relief from indigestion. However, drinking large amounts of baking soda is dangerous and is not suitable for long-term use. Drinking use during pregnancy or children or use with children is also not recommended. So leaving baking soda out of cake prevents it from rising, but you can use baking powder as a substitute. And there are other substitutes as well. The side effects of using baking soda is excess, can be salt retention, including raised blood pressure and swelling. So be cautious. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemoration. Hope you all have enjoyed. So work on your resolutions and, make sure or try to accomplish the resolutions which are yet to be completed, and also plan for the new year resolutions if you have that habit or would like to plan. So kindly fill up the feedback form before leaving. Thank you everyone for joining us. Feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. You can see overall feedback form, a window raised. Everyone quickly fill up the feedback form. It is mandatory because it is through this feedback form we get the data for preparing certificates. So it is mandatory for everyone. And there is an important announcement for January 1st, that is Sunday. As you all know, every Sunday we have international conference. This Sunday being also an English New Year, we thought to add some fun and entertainment to the conference. So apart from routine themes and all set, we wanted to make it a unique conference. So we have put two themes. The regular theme is health, sustainable well-being and sustainable development. So-called technical presentations will be as usual. And apart from that, we planned something edutainment, that is education plus entertainment together. If you want to present something, if you are a very good singer, classical, western, pop, whatever it is, you can sing. Or if you are a good poet, you can say, or you can recite a poem, or you can share your anything related to celebrations, or if you want to reflect upon past experiences on this platform and you would like to share certain experiences which are very constructive, productive, that can motivate others also, or can help you to recollect your memories, then this is a great time. You can also share, register, and let us know. To accommodate more people, we have restricted timings to 5 to 10 minutes, and the usual timings from 11 to 6. So if you have a very good content, you need more time, we will be happy to allot you more time, but let us know in advance. As you all know the formalities, you can register. The form I have shared already. I will be sharing once again. It has been shared on our social media handles. You can register and you can present anything like across. If you want to talk about any topic, you are welcome. And as you can be as brief as short as 3 minutes. So use this opportunity to register and join. For all the participants and presenters, you'll be getting a free certificate. Even if you sing, even if you perform a dance or anything which is constructive, which is contributing to the conference, you are invited. You can share with your friends. And especially, we thought this would be a great day to encourage talent and skills. Like if you can play some instrument or cultural or traditional art forms also, you are welcome. If you know any of your friends who can perform on that day, you invite them. We'll also give an opportunity for them and also provide certificate also for them on performing or presenting on the first day. As we all say, the last day and first day, we take up something constructive that is rewarding. So let's use this opportunity. You know, getting opportunity is very difficult, and that too, creating a platform and giving an opportunity. Let's use everyone. Let's start the day with a very good thing so that you all do something productive. We all together do something productive, constructive, and let that. And do complete all the formalities so that we can issue the certificates also same day. If you register yourself and follow the instructions, we will also try to prepare all the certificates in advance based on your details. Make sure you are sharing your details correctly so that by the end of the day you will also get certificate issued. So you will also feel that the very first day you have achieved something. So feel free to share with your colleagues, friends, prepare something. If you are very good at poets or singing or dancing or perform or some artwork, or even if you have something, some topic which is not relevant to your discipline or profession, also out of box also, feel free to register and join us. Encourage your students, colleagues, friends to register and join us, and let's all together make this first day of the new year uh, all a productive day for everyone. This Sunday also, let's all enjoy together. Let's have some fun also on that day, some entertainment activity. And because coming to language, okay, any language is fine. On that day, we don't want to restrict, but make sure try to use common language. Otherwise, also fine. But you try to provide an English translation or try to explain in English if you are using a mother tongue language. And always follow the professional code of conduct, ethics, rules, because sometimes, this is an international platform, and at the end of the day, we all are responsible for how we conduct ourselves, what we present. So we are not actually encouraging the other language which we do not know, because we don't know what is being presented, and we really can't judge, or analyze content. So that is the reason. But we are comfortable in 5 languages. That is, Hindi, English, Sanskrit, and Telugu, and Tamil, and Of course, a little bit of Marathi, Gujarati, and other thing, but not so proficient, if functional knowledge. But we would suggest is go with the standard, English or Telugu, Hindi. Hindi is quite widely used. English is widely used, and Telugu also fine. So you can go with these three languages, or if you are coming with any other language, make sure you be responsible, accountable, and let's not spoil any name, or especially again, it's ultimately the presenter. You don't want to spoil your day. You don't want to get criticized for bringing something which is not to be promoted. So make sure you're coming with certain good things. And if it is a native language, also do provide a translation in English or Hindi so that everyone understands it. And as many of us have difficulty because there are people from South joining, people from North, and apart from abroad also. So for the convenience of all, let it be English. Otherwise also, it's okay, fine. If someone is really interested but not able to perform in English, fine. And there are certain art forms like dance or where music, there is no language barrier for them, right? So they can use any language as long as they are performing. So if you want to perform, you may have doubt how would we perform. You can switch on the video cam and you can make arrangements wherever. If you are doing a prayer song or a cultural song or a dance, you can set up your environment, you can switch on your mic and webcam and you can perform a dance or whatever it is. So that is a very good opportunity. You can encourage your children, neighbors' children if they want to present. So this is a kind of promoting our own cultures and traditions. So let's make this opportunity, share with everyone, encourage them to participate. And you also try to take up because it's even for 2-3 minutes also fine. There is no restriction. We want everyone to be part of this. So, and do share your details in advance, incomplete, so that we can also issue the certificates on same day. So if you can provide by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we can keep everything ready so that after completing of conference, so we can start processing and issue even by late night. So thank you everyone once again. So use this opportunity. I'm once again sharing the registration link for January 1st conference. Do copy this link and share in your groups, in your circles, and request them to join. So thank you everyone once again. And we take this opportunity to express our gratitude for everyone who has joined in this 2022 and being part of this wonderful Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. And in the next coming year also, we will continue to conduct sessions till the end of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations, that is till the end of August 2020. So keep joining, keep registering, keep sharing knowledge, keep gaining knowledge. So see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow would be the last session for this year, for this calendar year at least. So keep joining. And if we all want to have some celebration kind, if you have some suggestions, if you want to engage in something, just let us know. We'll allot you some time. So tomorrow we can have some fun also along with learn. So thank you everyone. See you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Take a good night and be prepared for the first conference.